We are talking about Tron. Tron is a 1982 Disney production. It was ahead of its time. Video game. Everybody loves video games. And then they've come out with Legacy and Ares. And I am a novice when it comes to Tron. But we're coming out with our resident expert. We got Vargo here.
Yeah, everybody. We're joined today with Vargo, a subject matter expert on all that is Tron.
Thank you for inviting me. I hope I live up to that expert title you gave me. So I'll do my best.
You're gonna do great.
We believe in you, buddy.
It's our voices with your imagination. Our theories take us down endless rabbit holes. We give our fellow nerds something to consider at the gaming table. Follow us as the Nerd Pow Wow.
Welcome to the Nerd Pow Wow. Follow us on YouTube where we upload new videos every Friday, or check us out on your favorite podcast platform. Spoiler warning, we do deep dives on characters, storylines, and theory crafting. So to kick it off, has anybody seen Tron Ares yet? The new film that just came out.
Absolutely. Just saw it today.
I saw it as well. All right.
Saw it today.
I'm sure we're all going to agree that it was a phenomenal movie, and there were no issues with it, no problems whatsoever. Right? The perfect product.
I actually really liked it as a person that's not familiar with Tron for the most part.
So Tron Ares, what's everybody thought so far?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. As far as me not knowing Tron up until yesterday, for the most part, it was action-packed. I liked the characters in it. Jared Leto, I mean, the last time I saw him, he was in Morbius. He was that sickly-looking guy. But
I recall a lot of people giving the movie a lot of grief because he was in it. Because some people really don't.
I liked him.
Very well.
I liked him in it. I did.
Yeah, I don't mind.
And then
Leto.
Quicksilver. Quicksilver is in it.
Yeah, Jared Leto's not bad. I mean, he gets some. I feel like sometimes Jared Leto gets cast in a role that, unfortunately, is poorly directed or the character's poorly fleshed out. Like I didn't much care for his Joker, stuff like that. No, but that's to no fault of his. I don't feel like that. He's just playing some iconic characters and it's poorly written, so he gets a lot of the flack for that, I think. But I don't know whether he had anything to do with those or not, but I don't mind the guy. My biggest thing with Ares is I think I would have liked the movie a lot more if they just would have made the movie Tron. We didn't need Ares. We have Tron. And I feel like they wanted to make this new, they just wanted to make this new great whatever, and I almost felt like it was almost created like because Jared Leto or some writer really wanted his own version of Tron instead of it being Tron. You know what I mean? That was one of my big complaints about it.
Yeah, you would think with the name Tron in the title, you would think he would be some part of it. Yeah, I agree with a little bit of that.
And Ares and Tron were interchangeable. I mean, the character could quite literally be Tron. There was no reason he couldn't have been. So that was a little bit of a bummer. And then
control.
Yeah, and with the Tron movie, like each one standalone, I was okay. I'm not a huge fan, but they weren't bad. But then they do the next thing, and the next thing is so loosely connected to the last thing that there's no. I don't feel like any flow or any continuous story. I mean, they mention Cora and Sam, Flynn in the it's peripheral, and it's like if anything goes, maybe we'll bring them back in or something. But they didn't even go into ISOs. I mean, the entire introduction to ISOs, because there's other canon Tron stuff out there. There's animated. There's all kinds of things that are canon to the storylines. And the ISOs, the rise of the ISOs is a huge piece of the story of what's happening in that world, and it's kind of evolving. And they didn't have a single ISO in the whole thing. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like they had started a whole new story. Like they try to separate Tron Legacy for some odd reason. Like they said, they did allude to it, but there were some things I could critique about it. Everything you pretty much said, I completely 100% agree with you on that one. Overall, I like the story overall. I like the characters that they came up with. But once again, if they would have just added some element of the legacy, it would have been. I would have enjoyed it much more better.
Yeah, especially because they paid so much an homage to the first one. You know, we had the cursor, you know, and everything was really cool to see cursor on the screen again. And that it was cool. It was neat. You know, in what's his face at the end there, getting dressed up like Sark. I mean, the outfit becoming
post credits.
Yeah, and the post credit scenes, the Sark armor. We haven't seen anything in the Sark armor since Sark, so that was super cool. So they had such a cool, like, bringing stuff together. It had the potential to be the latest Spider-Man, where they're grabbing all the open Spider-Man stories and closing everything up and showing what happened to each one of those. You know, they had the opportunity to do that, and I wish they would have taken it. So even though the movie wasn't bad, I came away disappointed because I wanted more from it. I guess that's the.
I do enjoy Jeff Bridges and being in all of them.
Yeah.
I'm glad they bridged the movies in that way.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that Disney probably thought Ares was going to be really a big hit. So I don't think it made a lot of money yet. Am I correct? Like, it hasn't made a lot of money yet.
It's doing well on streaming, but it did not do well box office wise.
And I was wondering if they were going to like just set up a whole new world, and then the next project was to bring in maybe Tron and maybe Sam Flynn. You know, maybe that might not happen now, considering the box office fail.
I don't know. Disney, has Tron ever like worked as like a box office success?
No.
And Disney still keeps trying to make it work.
The first Tron did poorly.
No, so I remember I watched the very first Tron when it came out in 1982. I was a little young. I saw it twice, believe it or not. When I saw it the first time, it was kind of a disappointment because I was the whole theater was empty. I was all by myself.
Aww.
And then a mother came in. Well, a mother came in with her small child, younger than me. I think it was like 9 or 10 years old. This kid was like 5 or 6, and his mother said, "Do you mind watching the movie with my kid? Because we want to watch another movie, and we need something to watch." I'm like, "Sure." So the kid sat next to me, and he would not stop talking through the whole movie. He acted like he saw that everything's going to be that's exploding, and it ruined it for me because I couldn't pay attention because this kid wouldn't stop talking. So I missed. So the whole movie at the first time was bad, and then box office was horrible. So much so they re-released it the next following year. I think in February they re-released it again. I got to see it again by myself once again with an empty theater.
Aww.
So I felt bad that Tron didn't do really good. Oddly enough, the video arcade games made more money than the movie itself. Believe it or not.
They were phenomenal. The 4-in-1 game you could sit in. It had It had the spider game where all the spider-like things were coming into the central. You had the lights trying to place around. What were the other modes? There was like a breakout type mode too, wasn't there?
So there was a shoot where it was the screen up, where they had to shoot the blocks to get through, and there was the spiders, and then the tanks, and then the tanks too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then they had another one that was a standalone one called Tron Discs.
Yes, that one I have not played.
It's a really good game.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it, but I never had a chance to play it. So.
They had a Steam game. I can't think of the name of it offhand. It was very much Tron Discs. It's a phenomenal game. Steam.
Now, the first one you're talking about, is that an arcade game?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And that arcade made more money than the movie itself, sadly enough.
On quarters.
Yeah, well, just that game. The game just looked beautiful. It had black lights, everything lit up, and it was and arcades was a huge thing back then when that came out. So yeah, of course it made a lot more money.
Yeah, there's a Tron. Oh, that Tron 2.0 that you showed. That's a game on Steam.
Oh, there it is.
There's a Tron Catalyst and a Tron Identity.
So this particular movie, which is funny because if you had watched Tron Legacy, but played this game first. There's very similarity between the storyline with this than Tron Legacy as well.
Interesting.
Because this one, instead of Sam Flynn, it was Bruce Broccoli. I can't say his last name.
Right.
Yes, Bradley was the character's name. it was his son named Jet who got pulled into the computer. And if I can recall, because it's been a while since I played this, but there's very similarities between this storyline and Tron Legacy. There was a point where there was a scene at a bar where in Legacy was Daft Punk, and then all the other programs invaded, and chaos erupted. Same thing with this, but the bad guy in this one was a virus. It was a virus taking over the whole system, and his dad got sucked into, like, Tron. The guy who created the Tron program, Bradley, he got sucked into the computer, so his son came looking for him. So there's a lot of similarities with this, and it was some good voiceovers. Rebecca Remain Stamos, I think at the time, she did a voiceover. Her character was named as Mercury, which would be Cora in the other movie. So it was a really fun. It was a really simple.
Yeah,
I wish I could still play it now.
They definitely took from that game a lot. I remember
a
that
lot.
It was that they pulled from it. I think if I remember correctly, Boxleitner was heavy into the he was doing the Babylon shows.
Yes.
He was doing all of the Babylon 5 and all of those kind of things. Boxleitner played a lot of those. So they went with the Bridges character to get him over there and do the movie. So I actually kind of liked, out of the three, Legacies is my favorite live action movie. I liked it. I liked the idea of these of the ISOs, of these, like, it generated this, like, self-generating or suddenly generating programs. And because in the original one you had, what were those names, like was Brahm and Ram, where they
Ram.
Where they were just they were programs from, like one was like a freaking architectural program or something, and he got pulled over and he had to play the game.
What had to do like your taxes.
Yeah,
it was like your taxes program. Like they got pulled in to play games.
Yeah, that's the charm I really liked about the first movie. Is it's just like, I'm an accountant. It's just like very fun.
It was quite interesting, because even like Yori, she was very much the token girl for the original Tron, as was the era of movies then. But even her, like, her character was just felt like they just got pulled into something that they've never done before. These were not gamers sucked into this game. The programs weren't. These people were. So
yeah, I think she also did a voiceover in Tron 22. She played the character Mara or something like that. The girl that was in Tron, the first movie. Yeah. Cindy something. I can't remember.
I don't remember her name, but I know it was Yori. I think in the name was her
Yori.
Correct. Yeah. And then she was like Laura or Lara or something when her human counterpart.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was neat. It was like there was a certain pacing and stuff to Disney movies at that time that was a little difficult. It had the same kind of feeling as like The Black Hole. Like,
yes.
There's so much about
that movie did not make much money either.
No. And there was so much stuff about it that was like memorable and cool, like the robots and all this neat stuff. But the movie's pacing was just, I don't know, just like I'm falling asleep in between cool shit, and then weird shit's happening. Like at the end, through the black hole, everybody's in hell, and I don't know what's going on here. But so
another movie of mine, Black Hole. I love it. As a kid, I loved it as a kid. When I was a kid, I loved Black Hole. It was just because I have toys. I have like Maximilian stand-up robot about this big.
Oh, no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have done that, Maximilian. He was a good man. He turns on his little whirring blade and cuts up the one guy. But like at the end, when they get sucked through the hole, I don't remember the main antagonist's name, the doctor that was running the ship that they were on. His eyes were inside Maximilian. Maximilian was standing on this like volcanic, hellish landscape, and the doctor was like inside the robot now. It was kind of like,
I didn't like that whole ending like that. It was kind of like you said, like hell or something.
Yeah, like black holes tear the fabric of space into a hell dimension or something. Unexplained. That's just how it ended. You're like, what just happened? but
so that's interesting that Tron released
a vibe. I felt like between Tron and Black Hole was very similar.
Yeah, they came out around the same time.
Yeah, the filming, the directing, the whole thing just felt. Even the costume even a lot of the costuming felt like it was like cookie cutter for that era.
Trying to get into the movie, like real live action movie. So that's what they were.
Yeah, it's true.
It's interesting. The original had a second release that way. When we had Jared Leto, who also had a movie that had a second disappointing release recently with Morbius.
Morbius, yeah.
Did you guys like Morbius?
No.
There were parts of Morbius I liked, but it just kept going.
I wanted to. I really did. I went in there with such a good attitude and really wanted to be good, and unfortunately, it didn't hit right for me. And you know, about going back a little bit to Tron Ares, I'll start with the bad first. So probably the worst part to Tron Ares for me was the actress who played Eve, Kim. I thought she was an awful actress. I thought she was very bad. And I think that worked out really well because it really made Jared Leto shine in his role. Because he came out so much deeper than her in every way and so much more human feeling than she did. Like, man, she got a personalized message from her missing sister. Not a bead of emotion on her face, just, oh, let me open the file. Oh, neato, that's cool. That I didn't like. So I didn't like the lead actress. But I will say that this role worked very well for Jared Leto in the same way that the role of Neo worked really well with Keanu Reeves, a kind of a low emotion actor with, you know, just I thought it worked for his character. I thought that part of it was good. So yeah. Overall, I liked the kind of the hopeful outlook on AI, and you know, some of the things that we're looking at, you know, in our potential future. I know this is a little bit out there and a little sci-fi, right? But you know, there's some crazy things happening with AI and crazy things being created. It's not too far of a thought to think that between our 3D printing technology and AI, that something eventually will be created that'll have more detailed components like metal. I mean, they're 3D printing houses with concrete right now. So
it's crazy.
3D printing food. I mean, there's
that's probably coming.
And that is one thing that kind of bothered me. What was the name of that movie where those old school video gamers were fighting the video game things coming to life? It had like Adam Sandler in it and shit.
Pixels.
Oh, I did not like that movie.
Me either. But when the Tron things, some of the Tron things were destroyed, some of the things from the program were destroyed, and they're breaking into the pixels, I'm like, no.
I mean, and all fair, with all three movies, no one really liked it in general because none of the movies really made a lot of money. Right. So there were a lot of people who were able to pick apart a lot of things. I guess you really have to be like a really hardcore person to really appreciate the storyline. Yeah, you could pick actors and everything like that, which is fair enough, absolutely. But I just found a love of it when I was a kid, and I could almost overlook a lot of there's a little continuity issues in the Eris one I saw that it's like I could nitpick. But I want to enjoy it. I'm going to love it. So I actually already bought Tron Ares already.
Really?
So I look forward to buying some more like Ares, swag.
Yeah. So I don't think it's as bad as some of the ratings that it's gotten and some of the flack that it's gotten. I think it was a little bit better than that. I think there's maybe a little bit of a trend on the Jared Leto hate. Maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, I had a lot of negative
like sci-fi and fantasy realms or comic, the whole nerd realm. He's not getting a lot of love.
No.
But to your point with that, you and me just watching Tron for the first time here this week. I just enjoyed the action. I enjoyed the character building specific for the movie because obviously you had to watch brand new characters the next movie. There was no flow to it, but they did go back and do some Easter eggs and look back. Ares, when he went into the arcade, there was a classic bike. There was the classic bike, and he's like, ooh, classic.
Yeah, there's a lot to love about it. It's just, it's almost like I don't know. there's things I start to find myself getting into it, and then something happens, and I'm like the heavy breathing. Why the fuck in the digital realm are the programs breathing? Why are they tired?
Programs.
Why are they panting? Why are we having a scene where we're coming in to see him without his helmet the first time, and he's like Darth Vader? I'm like, what is going on? The one gets his leg blown off, and he's like writhing. I'm like, why is he? Where's the pain in this digital? Like, no, like
It's like Cora had her arm chopped off.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, there's so much potential. I think that's what keeps bringing me back to them, and why I do enjoy them. It's like I feel like there's this whole potential there that's being butchered by people that don't know what they have, which is a shame. Because like the video games, going back to the video games, that's what kept me in love with Tron. Like I loved those video games. I have no idea how many quarters I shoved into that 4-person game. I loved it. But
my dream is to own one of those arcade games. Mine's the original Tron. That's my dream. Someday I'm going to own one.
One of the 4-man one or the 4-game one, that would be great.
And Arcade One's probably going to make one someday.
No, sure.
I mean, it's not like the original from the 80s, but it's at least one that'll work when you can play the game.
Yeah, Scott won't settle until he's actually transported into the Tron world. Yeah.
It's funny because a lot of people who watch Tron really doesn't understand the concept, what they're looking at. A lot of people don't understand what the world came from. Like we have a mutual friend named Greg. Wayne knows him. He had been watching Tron. He had to get caught up on everything, and he kept asking me questions like, "I don't understand. Why is this world inside of a computer?" And I said, "Well, you have to imagine the circuits are like freeways, and time in the computer is way different time than actual time." So I had to go over a lot of little details, what programs were, like why they look like the same person. It's just a coincidence, probably. But yeah, a lot of people might not understand the exact details of how Tron works inside of a computer. They think it's like the Matrix. In some ways, it's like it, but not entirely.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in the early 80s, that wasn't the thing.
It was ahead of its time.
Well, it's actually much more intellectual than like the Matrix. It's just the personification of a program in the role. Inside the computer, they wouldn't look like that. That's just so that us as the viewer can personify what's going on there. You know, these cities and what they're doing, but it would be, electricity and signals and wavelengths. It wouldn't be an actual like physical form like that until they were transferred into the other one. That was just so the human brain could kind of wrap itself around what was happening. It wasn't what's actually happening.
I was trying to explain like the time frames, like on a keystroke, activate the program in the Tron universe. It's like they have to wait, receive the program, the orders, and then they have to do it, and that's all like our real time. But in the real life, it's like done like this. It's like computer time. So there's a time difference there.
Yeah, they're moving at a much greater speed.
Yes.
Well, what is that?
Here's a question for you guys.
I was talking to my Echo device the other day in the AI, and we were talking about, I think it was the teraflops, the speed in which things think. And
teraflop?
Yeah, I think it's teraflops. It's a I forget what I'm losing the word. It may not be a teraflop, but anyway, there's a speed in which things think, and she can think in amazing speeds, like stunning speeds. But then I looked up what the human brain can actually do, and it dwarfs her. The speed in which things are actually computed versus in the human brain. So it's still pretty fascinating. But I was like to Scott's point, inside the machine, if you were working at this certain speed and in real time things are happening at this certain speed, you're going that speed and it's coming at you at what it seems like slow to an outside observer.
Good. That's good. Yeah. Good way to put it. Absolutely. Good way to put it.
You got a game for us to play, Seraph?
All right. Here's a question for you guys. Just posing this idea. Okay. So in Tron Ares, they were able to take a digital orange tree, right? And create that in the real world. After 30 minutes, it would just kind of disappear, right? Dissipate. All right.
That's what they're hoping not to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were working to stop it from doing that. Okay, so we have some scientists working on this project, and at one point somebody eats one of those oranges. Right now, what if after they fixed something in the program, but the permanence wasn't permanent, and after 7 days that orange disappeared, but it's already been digested. It's already been incorporated into that person's body and their physiology.
Somewhere, someone's toilet randomly unclogs.
Not only does the toilet unclog, but I mean, like the cells that have been replaced in that human's body, those would cease to be as well.
Are you saying in the movie Ares that the tree actually did disintegrate?
Well, if let's say after 7 days it did disintegrate after
if it did,
orange, yeah.
I think they wouldn't have eaten it until after the 30-minute mark. I think that's what they waited for before they ate it.
Yeah, of course. But they were pretty certain that this was going to work. I don't know if the risk is worth it. I'd wait a little bit longer. I don't know.
So did you pick up on the Easter egg on that orange tree? Because the first Tron movie, they were using a laser.
An orange into Tron.
Exactly.
Into the
I love that idea.
That is a good connection.
I didn't catch that.
No, you did, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little Easter eggs. I loved it inside of Incom where they showed like a throwback to like Flynn's office, like all the old computers and floppy disks and stuff like that. I love seeing that because that brings back old memories when I used to have like the Commodore 64 and stuff like that. Yeah. So, and I was always a little computer nerd kid, even when I was young. Like all my friends had more money than I did, so I always went to their houses, played their Commodore 64, their IBM computer. So when Tron came out, it was just like, well, this is interesting. And I think because as a nerd computer geek then, that's probably where my love of Tron came from.
One of these days, what we should do is there's an old Steam game called Ricochet. I don't know if you guys have ever played it.
It sounds familiar.
It actually, you remember when what's the orange box game? Half-Life. So all the Half-Life games and everything else. There was one collection of that called the Orange Box, and it had Half-Life 1, Half-Life 2, blah blah blah. But the game Ricochet was on there, and it directly steals from Tron, and it's using you're using the light discs to try to knock your opponents off of these platforms, and you can't run and jump for the platforms. You have to use there's a ramp, an arrow on the ground that shoots you from one platform to the other. So you can only go certain directional ways, and the game is chaos. It's fast. It's hilarious. You'll laugh like morons. The graphics are so Half-Life 2, but it's still very fun. But if you want to have some Tron nostalgia, a game you can download for virtually nothing on Steam, dude, don't play it by yourself. Get a bunch of us together. And play it because the game.
I'm already down.
Yeah, it's good because there have been a lot of Tron knockoffs that people didn't even attribute to it. There was a show in the '80s called Automan. You remember? Yeah, I remember. It was just this guy was like he literally had the Tron suit. He had a cursor to draw his car and then he'd drive his car around. He was automatic or auto whatever, man. But he was a computer programmer.
Oh. He was. They took even the software that what they used to make Tron. They used a little bit for that series as well. But I remember when that movie was first advertised. I'm thinking, oh my God, it's the Tron movie. I actually thought it was going to be about Tron. Just a guy called Automan. Like there's a guy named Tron. There's a guy named Automan. It had nothing to do with Tron whatsoever. I mean, he had the idea.
I forget how long it went.
It didn't go very well, but.
Yeah, no, it didn't do very well.
No,
I think it had 10 series or 10 episodes, one season. But yeah, it was Automan. I mean, I loved that show as a little kid. I nerded out on that.
Absolutely, I gravitated to it like that. It's yes, I'm watching it. And I enjoyed it. And then I start watching it. I was like, well, this really has nothing to do with Tron, but you know what? It's still fun. It was still fun to watch. I loved it. Yeah.
If you just look up Automan, all one word.
Yeah,
it screams.
It ranks up there with Manimal.
Man, it's so funny. I thought about Manimal when you were talking about that because that was the same.
Yeah, that was the same time.
Yeah, Knight Rider was the upper echelon of that genre,
Yep.
Okay.
And Manimal was the bottom of that genre. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of series, I haven't seen the Tron animated series.
Oh, no.
What did you think about that?
So it's more or less a prequel to Tron Legacy. A little continuity in there, but it's how Tron character, he was defeated by Clue. Now in the Tron Legacy movie, because that came out first, you would just have thought that when Tron was beaten by Clue, that he automatically became Rizzler. Well, actually, in the cartoon series, he actually was able to get away. He was badly destroyed, and then he helped this young people try to rise up against Clue. And eventually, the series didn't do well. I think it had like one season. Actually, I have it. I bought it actually because I buy everything Tron. But in the end, Tron has to fight Clue again. And I think at that point he gets repurposed into Rizzler, and then the movie Legacy is taken over after that. So it's kind of like a prequel. What is it?
Were there any talks of making a second season, or did it?
No, it didn't.
Floundered out.
Yeah, Tron just not a very popular movie by any means. Any way you look at it, people just don't gravitate it as much as they should. I am, but that's just who I am. So
I think the first time someone who loves Tron and is halfway decent at writing and directing gets a hold of the property, it's got real potential.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Real potential to be there. Because there's other, like, what was the other Keanu Reeves property where he was we got jacked in that
oh God,
Johnny Mnemonic.
Johnny Mnemonic. Johnny
Mnemonic. Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, like those that it all falls into the same kind of subgenre of Tron and that type of thing. And I don't know if you guys ever played. I don't know why my brain is failing me here so much. There was a D&D like game that was you had jackers and all kinds of stuff. They're fantasy creatures, but they had a whole internet type thing. It was
like Cyberpunk almost.
It was very cyberpunk, but you'll know the name of the game when I say it here. Hold on a second. But that genre just never seems to do good, and it's such a good genre. And I don't understand why. I have too many games in my Steam to find it in my Steam. Shadow. Shadowrun.
Yes. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, same kind of thing. The Shadowrun series. It started as a tabletop RPG. Really did well there, but video games never took off. I feel like a movie would be amazing. It's basically what if the fantasy world became high tech. You had trolls and elves and everything else, and they were very, like, they would jack into the net. Yeah, jackers was an actual playable class. They could jack into the network, and I don't know that, but that just never seems to do well, and I never understand why. Like, I feel like it's a lot of times it comes out too broody. Like, I feel like people need that genre. They need their characters to be like dark and broody, and I don't know why the fuck that is. But I don't know. I wish that somebody would do something better with that whole thing. But yeah, Kenshi's back. Bye. Yeah, I would love to see it. I don't even know what to call that genre. That, like,
cyberpunk-ish.
It's kind of cyberpunkish, but more getting more into the cyber side of it. I mean, I think it's a little high. It is cyberpunkish. I mean, but even cyberpunk in general, there hasn't been a good representation of it. The video game even came out, was really panned at first. It does better now, but it did not come out well. I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't do much. Like, steampunk is the same way. I feel like steampunk has this cool little following, but there's never been a fantastic representation of steampunk in story or movies or anything. It's just kind of
like an explosion. It's like it hasn't been like a. Well, I don't know. Steampunk is a lot more popular than most science fiction movies, I think.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know that it is science fiction, but cyberpunk maybe. I think those two are equally like.
Yeah, you could almost.
Subgenre. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I love even like Hackers. Remember that movie from back in the 90s?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
you know,
it's Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock in that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or is it Central?
I think it's
That's not.
Sandra.
It's not Centerpool. Like
Oh,
it's
it's not?
No.
Oh, that was the Net. That was called the Net.
Yeah.
I think she was on a movie called The Net.
I love all
Hackers
those
was
movies
Angelina
that like
Jolie.
try and explain like, you know, electric phenomena just very unscientifically, and you know, some of the hacker stuff and like Lawnmower Man and you know, some of that stuff from the late 80s, early 90s, all very fun, kind of campy stuff. Nobody knows the difference, so they can just make stuff up as they go.
That's next on my watch list is Lawnmower Man.
Oh God.
Well,
I always saw Lawnmower Man as Max Headroom. Like a version of Max Headroom almost. But wasn't that based off a Stephen King novel? Lawnmower Man?
Yeah, absolutely. And he was so disgusted with the movie that he actually sued to have his name removed from it.
Really?
That's right. It's still on there though.
Yeah.
I know.
It's still on there.
Yeah, it's sad. Sometimes they butcher a Stephen King novel like that.
Yeah. Well, even The Stand, or wait, the Shining. I think he didn't like The Shining. I don't think
He didn't like it.
Oh,
no.
Shining's a classic.
Yeah.
Well, it is. It yeah.
Oh, now there's a good. Kimchi made a good thing. One of the best steampunk-esque things is Arcane, and that's absolutely.
That's fine.
Yes.
Absolutely. Finally, steampunk getting a little bit of representation in that whole series is good. But yeah, because I wish, like I said, I wish that they had even Final Fantasy VII was probably a really strong representation in media for steampunk.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty good one. So I just wish it had. I'd like to see a good movie, series, story, something that really fleshes that out better than we've really seen. It tends to be a little corny sometimes the way that they go with it. But yeah, and like I said, I hope they do more with the Tron. I really do.
Yeah, I hope they don't give up on it.
The problem is Jeff Bridges has been doing it for 40 years. He is getting older.
Yeah.
They almost don't really need to bring him back for this one, but
no, he's got to do it. I mean, he's in every Tron movie. I mean, he didn't make it into the series, right? Animated series, his character.
Yeah, there was a couple episodes he was featured. I don't think he voiced over it. I don't think he used his voice.
Okay, but Kevin
I
Flynn
could be
was
wrong.
in it.
Well,
the character Kevin Flynn.
You know, they'll just have to do a 3D scan of him as soon as possible, so they can just have AI model him in the movie. It'd be on brand. It'd be perfect.
Well, that's what they did in Legacy. There was another guy that actually stood in for him, but it was Jeff Bridges' face.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He actually did. He played the parts. He had all these graphic cameras facing him, and of course, with the
CGI or
the
however
CGI,
they did it.
CGI made him look younger, and I think there was rumor that Jeff Bridges didn't like the way he looked. He said
I heard that too.
Yeah, he didn't care how he looked. The younger version of him. I don't know. I thought
it was good.
It was really good. Yeah, me too. So
because you know what they did, but when you're watching the movie, it doesn't look any different than a younger Jeff Bridges or Kevin Flynn.
Yeah, they did really good. You could tell at the very beginning of Tron Legacy, you could just see the special effects. You could tell like it was really fake when he was talking to his son Sam when he was a little kid, and I was kind of worried about it, like how that's going to look like. And then it changed from what it would look like at the beginning of the movie until you saw a clue. It was like they must have upgraded somewhere along the production line, because the first part, like, this looks, you could just tell that's all CGI. But even the clue looked a lot better. I was like, oh, they did something better.
At least in Tron, you got the CGI look to it fits canonically, like story wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense for the story.
It is that way, yeah.
I agree.
But yeah.
No.
And I did. Speaking earlier about the retro stuff, when they did the retro, like the retro light bike and everything else, they even gave it that old school muddy look that the that almost Clay looked at it had in the original, and that was a good idea. It was cool.
Yeah, I love that. That brought me back to watching the very first time when he was on the old lights, like the light cycles, and it cut turners like this. You know, they even actually had the hole from the first movie where they escaped from the first movie. It was still there for him to get out from where he was at from before. So I thought they did a really good job. Yeah, if you watched the first movie, Wayne, you would have saw that.
I did watch the first movie.
Yeah, well, you did pay attention.
I watched it the first movie yesterday, and then I watched Legacy and Ares today.
Oh,
So
I
it is
rewatched
really.
I'd seen each of them, but I rewatched them last week because I was thinking this was happening last week. I had my dates all screwed up, but yeah, so they're all fresh in my head.
Yeah, that was really cool. Like I was saying, Vargo here, he's got 40 years in between. Me, I just watched him in 2 days. It was like, hey, this is really cool.
Every so often, I'll get in the mood of watching the original. Then I'll watch the Legacy. Now that I have Ares, that's part of my collection now.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I said, there's a lot of continuity things about it, but little things that Nagy said was absolutely true. You know, when it comes to some of the things they left out, they should have brought in. But overall, I still found it entertaining. I'm just hoping that maybe that might be another step to another movie where they can bring in the stuff, bring in like some old of the other characters.
It was nice. Like I said, I like it well enough that I'll keep watching them.
Yeah,
you know, I didn't walk away like that was a crap movie. I didn't do that.
Right.
I just walked away with, oh, that could have been better.
Yeah,
you know, that was my feeling. You know what I mean? What not bad, but could have been better. Like there were a lot. I feel like that's like a middle of the road thing to me. I walk away from a movie feeling that way. So
the special effects was beyond. I love the special effects. I mean, it was spot on. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm curious how, like, what kind of ability they have being 3D printed as well. You know, having permanence. You know, what does that do? Because they shouldn't be. They are they still? How are they writing? Do they have? Do they have something built into their? Because when they're printed, we don't know what they're printed. They're not printed as humans. They're printed as the program. So we don't know what that thing's physically capable of. They might have some type of smaller type of printers built into them so that they can print weapons. Who knows? So there's a lot of potential there for that to be exceptionally cool.
And it does seem like I was going to say, it looks like if they do have more Tron movies, it's set up where Jared Leto would play in the next movie.
Maybe
he did all that work to make him permanent.
Maybe, but he could be on his own life right now. I think that permanent made machine into human. I think that was the permanent code they were looking for, because they brought a human in. Like if you watched Legacy, there was a point where Sam Flynn was put on the grid, and Rizzler was beating his butt on the disc game, and at one point he had cut him, and he saw blood come out of Flynn, and he stopped because he realized that he was human, and Tron was programmed to fight for the humans. That's why he didn't really kill him there. And so, there's parts of that movie, there's little Easter eggs, at least I picked up, where Rizzler, there's little clicking noises that only he had that no one else had, and it was, to my impression, like even in the script, that he was still a damaged program trying to fight his reprogrammed, because he only could be repurposed, not reprogrammed. So I thought that was little added details that a lot of people didn't pick up on.
Here's a detail I don't think I picked up on, and it's probably in there. So Kevin Flynn made Blue. Blue was supposed to be the perfect program, and then at one point, that is when Clue turned against Flynn. What is the perfect program that Clue is thinking he was making by going against Flynn?
Well, he programmed to make the perfect system.
Yes.
So when the ISOs came around, that was not. Yeah. So when the ISOs came around, that wasn't perfect to his eye. So to him, Flynn gravitated towards the ISOs. He embraced them. Where Clue's like, well, that's not part of the perfect system. So there was.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And so.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So you are the expert.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
and look,
That's
if
right.
if somebody says, "Hey, Scott, you're wrong," and they explain to me, and like, you know what, you're right. I have absolutely no problem with being corrected. Absolutely.
I think that makes
That's
perfect sense. I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah, because
'cause
I
I
think the creation I kind of missed in Legacies the creation of Clue 2.0 because the original Clue in the first movie was derezzed, so he's gone.
Yeah,
So
he was programmed for. He was a hacking program. His only job was to get in into the Dillinger server,
Right.
find all the missing information about how he stole all this information. But he kept falling into their so-called firewall. They didn't call it at the time, but he kept getting captured. And that program would be deleted. That's why Flynn couldn't get in there. He had to be physically at the computer, and then he got sucked in by the master control program.
Yeah.
and my question about Legacy is,
Mhm.
why did Sam feel like his dad just ran off, or he was dead, or in Costa Rica, when
Well,
he was screwing around with the Tron program basically his whole adult life? Why didn't he think there was a chance that he went back into the program again?
well, he kept telling Sam when he was a young kid, like he was telling about this whole nother world, and he kept giving all the details. And Sam goes, "I want to be there." He goes, "You will. You'll be like." He was waiting. He was going to bring him into this server.
Right.
The universe he was creating. But when he got into it, if you saw that it was a flashback when Flynn was even young, looked just like Clue. That was the coup. That's when Clue took over, and he was trapped into the universe. So Sam, not knowing that his dad was in the computer, he told him about it, but didn't say that he was in the computer. I'm just talking layman's terms here.
Mhm.
So he just assumed that his dad just went to Costa Rica. He had no idea that he was actually going into the server and building something. So his dad was just kind of playing with words, I guess.
Yeah. And then it was Clue that sent the page, correct?
Yes,
Because he wanted to trick Sam into coming in.
Exactly. But it's funny.
Which it worked.
It did, but it was never addressed. Clue never said that he did that. It was implied. It was implied that he did. He didn't actually come out and say that he was the one that.
Because Kevin Flynn actually said, "I didn't send a page," and that is when they didn't mention it again. So
I wish they would have.
Well, and I think there was supposed to be some synergy there too, because Clue 2.0 felt very abandoned by Flynn.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I think Sam kind of felt the same way. So I think it was almost like a brotherly thing in a way. That I always got that vibe, like they were kind of commiserating with the father abandonment thing.
You're right.
And I just that's what I kind of got from the page. Like he was trying to almost like interact with his brother in a way, but that it almost felt like an undeveloped storyline. Like it was going to be
there was like
more
a lot they left out.
Yeah,
I believe because all the programs treated users as godlike people. They created them, so there's a lot of like religious overtones in there if you really look at it. Because if you look at Flynn being this god, and he created the universe, he created all these people, and they got trapped in there. And then his God's son, which would be the Jesus, Sam, appears, tries to save the server. So it's a lot of little religious overtones. Even in the first Tron movie, where they treated users as godlike people because they would say like a term like "oh my user," like "oh my God," instead of saying "oh my God," like "oh my user," or like "what in the user is going on with you?" Like said, "What the hell is going on with you? What the user is going on with you?" So there's a lot of religious overtones in there.
Even their garb. I mean, Bridges is dressed up like a god. Like he's got the robe, he's got the big
exactly.
beard. He's looking very stereotypical goddish type of look. So
yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of little religious overtones in there.
What's the kid's name who plays Sam? I can't think of his name offhand.
I don't know.
That was Garrett. I'm thinking it was Garrett Hedlund. Garrett is Hedlund. Garrett Hedlund.
Yeah, yeah. He plays in. I really like the actor. He's played in a few things. He plays in a show with Sylvester Stallone now, the Tulsa King.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Which character is he in that?
The guy that owns the bar. Good character. It's a great series. I mean, it's totally not sci-fi fantasy, but it's a really good.
I didn't catch that at all.
But yeah, that's totally him. You watch that show, Wayne?
Yeah, and I didn't catch
the
that was
guy that owns
him.
the bar. The guy that owns the bar. Yeah, that's the same
Wow.
actor.
I did not know. I've never seen that series
He
yet.
also played a character that's kind of like a antagonist protagonist thing in the Aragorn movie. That did really bad, but they're supposed to come out with an Aragorn series here soon, which should be much better. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those books or not. The Aragorn series,
I'm not.
it's a kid finds it's a fantasy series. Kid finds a dragon egg. The dragons haven't been around in a long time. Blah 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 kind of show, but really well.
I remember those books. My daughter read a lot of those books. I remember. I didn't know they made a series out of it. So.
Well, there was one movie that was bad, and they're coming out with a series. The movie didn't do so well, rightfully so. It was pretty bad. But the dragon in the show is a main character. She speaks and thinks, and it's really it's different in the books. I mean, the books are great. They're quick books. They're nothing. They're probably what I would consider a little bit older, young adult level reading. They're not tricky, but they're really well done. There's a lot of fleshing out of character and stuff like that in them. I really suggest them. They're the Inheritance series. That's what it's called. But it's really good.
So how do you play the game Space Paranoids?
You know, it's funny.
I want to know how to play it.
I didn't get that. Oh no, Aragon is not Aragorn. Aragon is the name of the show. Yeah, Kim, you just I said Aragorn. I thought you were talking about the King of Gondor. But no, my bad. It's Aragon. Eragon, not Aragorn. If I misspoke that. But yeah, you ever play the game Berserk?
Berserk,
the old arcade game.
Yeah, we were the little guy.
Yes, we had one.
That reminds me a lot of the Tron. Somebody said like that. What would the game be like? And I think I always imagined it being like Berserk or Frenzy, where you're just the little character running around shooting the bad guys. But yeah. But yeah.
Oh.
Berserk. God, I haven't thought about that in years.
It's a great game. It's
a
cool name, Frenzy. It was a fun game. I love Berserk.
Yeah. It was an arcade game, wasn't it? Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was that style. It had Berserk. You had Defender, where you're the little spaceship flying across the screen. It was kind of like Asteroids, but linear. Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Those were good games at the time. They were fun. Before we actually had graphics.
Hubert.
Yeah.
I think graphics have spoiled me because when I try to go back and play retro games, like, man, I just can't do it.
Well, some of them are a little
rough. Retro games.
Yeah.
I can play retro games like those ones because they were just light drawn. So the edges and the lines are still clean. They didn't look all pixelated and weird.
Okay.
So there's like there's still a crispness and a cleanness to it that is not during the muddy 8-bit, 16-bit when we had all the muddy shit. That's what I can't go back to. I'll never go back to pixelated sprites. I love sprites. I love games with sprites for characters like Final Fantasy Tactics and stuff. All-time favorite style and character. But when it's hyper pixelated like that, I'm just like, no, give me some I'm gonna need some anti-aliasing in here.
Yeah, you know, with the scan lines on the CRT TVs, though, like a lot of those games looked a lot better than, you know, how they look when you play them on emulators now. Like, you know, having those pixels being nice and clean doesn't do any favors. And they didn't really make them to be nice and clean either. They made all those models to be shown with those lines and with that kind of garbage in there, right? And to look good through that. It's night and day when you look at some of these games like on an old TV. I still go back to Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Love that game, you know. But
well, if you grew up with those old retro games, those were like state of the art when we were kids. So
yes, they were, yeah.
So if I go back to them, you may not enjoy them, but it just brings back nostalgic for me. Granted, it's not the greatest graphics whatsoever, but it's just a certain nostalgic. I remember this when I was a kid, how many quarters I put in. So to me, I still
games were harder back then.
They were harder, and I think they were harder.
You can't keep putting the quarters in; they keep playing them.
Yeah, but I think they were also built better in a way because they were made to be released once and never be changed again, right? So as much had to be corrected.
Yeah.
You know, the original Pokemon game was super buggy, had a ton of bugs. You know, there's plenty of games that were buggy and whatnot upon release, but overall, they really tried to make very solid games when they first put them out. So, you know, the quality of a lot of the Super Nintendo games and Nintendo games, some of that stuff is, you know, it's not lost on me at least. I really respect the craftsmanship put into those games. You know.
Yeah, the Mario games, the Sonic games.
Yeah, and even the story-based ones, you couldn't get carried. Like some games get carried on the graphics. They look so good that they don't flesh out the story as well.
Yeah.
You know, in the old games, I'm like, what was it?
Dragon Slayer.
No, my brain's
Chrono
fried
Trigger.
here. Yeah, how did you know it was Chrono Trigger? That's so crazy that you said that.
Xavier, you put it in my mind.
Chrono Trigger did get in a game that you didn't see him before. It was a really well fleshed out game. Like it, you know, the fact that the antagonist at one point in time becomes a recruitable character, you know, and just cool shit that you could do it, and you just didn't see that before that. It was a different time. It was a good time for storytelling in games.
That's number one on my list of games that I wish they did a remake of, and you know, they'd knock it. It'd be so good. So good.
Yes. Even a Chrono Cross, which was a sequel kind of to Chrono Trigger, even that game was interesting. You literally play half the game as the antagonist. Halfway through the game, your character does a brain swap with a soul swap with the main antagonist and has to figure out how to still help things along while the main bad guy's running around in his body, fooling everybody that he's him. And you play a large portion of the game like that. It isn't just like a little gimmick. So, I don't know. I think they're missing something not redoing those games. I really wish they would.
When did that game come out? Like, when was that? What platform was it on?
Chrono Cross, I think, was PlayStation. Maybe N64.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger was Super Nintendo, I think. Chrono Cross.
I don't think I played that one. I've never heard of it.
I've never even heard of that.
It came out in '99.
That could be PlayStation.
Right? First PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to go back in retro and have some fun in that realm, Chrono Cross is a great game. Fantastic.
And it's there's a Chronos. No, that's probably not what you're talking about. Chronos is free.
Yeah.
So I never played those games.
Yeah, Chrono
Cross. When I think retro, I go back even further. I go back to like Commodore 64 games, like Leisure Suit Larry. You guys remember Leisure Suit Larry?
I know what Leisure Suit Larry is. I've heard of it.
Like, Midnight Madness House, Midnight Madness House, or something like that. It was an investigating game. It was like ahead of its time.
No, there's one of them called a Cronus Castle.
I don't know what that is.
Never heard of it.
Okay, that must be not right.
But I played a lot of obviously I came up with original video games. I remember having a Sears video game console, and what it had, it had 3 games. It had Pong, Squash, and Breakout, and you had to flip a physical lever to switch between the 3 games, and that's it. That was your home console. That's all you had.
Mm-hmm.
And watch that evolve all the way through up to from the original Atari. We had some computers, like I had the Texas Instruments TI-99.
Yes,
was the last computer that Texas Instruments made before they went straight calculator, etc. And the TI-99 actually had a cartridge section. You could put video game cartridges in. And they had a bunch of knockoffs. They had a Pac-Man game called Munchman. It was very much Pac-Man. But
there was that was Odyssey. Remember that game console called Odyssey?
Yep.
It had had a little keyboard on it, a little joystick like an Atari, but it had Munchman on it as well. And baseball, football. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, a lot of the Odyssey games played on the Texas Instruments TI-99. I think they were Odyssey games.
I think they're one of the same.
Yeah, and then Atari made computers for a little while. I had an Atari 5200, which was actually, 7200. 5200 was a video game console. 7200 was an actual home PC. It was a computer. That was a strange little, that didn't last long. But yeah, they were. My first computer that I ever owned was an Apple II. It wasn't even a 2C. It was just a little Apple II with the green screen. It was no color to that. So. I was in
My
fifth grade.
buddy had a Commodore 64. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I love that shit. You know, a big fad right now is building micro PCs into Commodore 64 housings.
I've seen that's been out for a while actually, where they take a Commodore 64 computer and make it a modern computer. Yeah, it's like, like a retro look.
It's a real sleeper.
Yeah,
build,
with the mini and micro motherboards and Raspberry Pi and stuff, you can make a full emulator, play every game that ever came out prior to 2000 on one console, and just have it there. My buddy Mike does that. He brings a little computer over to people's houses, plugs it in, and he's got a huge deck that has all different kinds of joysticks. Trackballs, joysticks, buttons for anything else, and you bring up Street Fighter, you have the Street Fighter controls. You want to play Golden Tee, you got a ball for that. It's fun shit. I'm gonna have to at some point in time invest in something like that.
You know, it's crazy. They're these little flash sticks, little game sticks on Amazon. They have like 80,000 games, all sorts of different game consoles. They just load in a ton of ROMs and emulators on there. You know, like 26 different video game systems, and you know they have like 1,000 Game Boy Advance games. They have all the Super Nintendo games. You never know what you're going to get with those things as far as the games go, but you can get a whole lot
Tron. Does it have Tron in there?
That's a good question. Tron? Yeah, you never know, because each one's different. They all come with different games on them. Yeah, that'd
be a selling point for me.
We got to get you a Tron cartridge. Yeah, for sure.
We do.
I'll take it.
A cool thing I saw at a gaming convention we went to is they had original NES video game cartridges, and they had put a Raspberry Pi in those so that it was a video game console emulator. So like you could play PlayStation on it, or you know it had cool. NES, Super Nintendo, all that stuff. So cool stuff.
That's cool. That's cool.
Apparently on that archive.org, oh my god, I look like a glowing thing person here.
I know. It looks like the light just went.
It goes to
my screen is so bright. If I click out, it's a white background video. It's like,
John, you look like a dick picture.
But the best part is I can see it better on the when I look over to the Twitch, because there's a little bit of a delay. But that Internet Arcade Archive, you can play all the Tron games on there free legally, because they've been out so long that you can do that. So I'm gonna have to try that out. Excuse me. What?
Excuse me. A what?
Oh my gosh. He looks scared.
I'm glad I had my hat on. That'd be worse.
Yeah, my gosh.
Wasn't that the SpongeBob movie when the king lost his crown? Bald! Bald! Bald!
So if you could get pulled into any video game, what video game would you want to get pulled into?
Oh, fuck. There's a lot of wrong choices on that one. Scott just went to the digital realm.
Scott just...
I'm morphing right now.
I'm being pulled in as we speak.
Like,
oh my god!
Oh my god!
What's going on? We lost him!
No, Argus Legacy!
I guess he just went into Tron.
Usually you have to pay for video effects like this. My god!
Yes, any video game.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You might have to reconnect your web camera.
I can see your face.
Yeah, I can see
I'm trying to get my... I don't know what happened. I don't know why it's like this. Okay, that's my daughter. Come here. See if I'm plugged in. Oh, check the USB port. My daughter's on this all the time. So
it happens to me a lot.
What do you do to fix it?
I just turn it off.
So I would...
On Discord.
I'm really like the Mario Brothers world.
Really?
Or, my first love is the X-Men Sega Genesis, but I'd probably die like right away. At least Mario, I'd have a chance because I could just run.
I'm gonna have to go with Castlevania. Everything's slow as shit in Castlevania. I feel like I could swing a whip faster than the Belmont in the original Castlevania games. So
what about the Ghouls and Ghosts?
Oh fuck no! Of any game, not Super Ghouls and Ghosts. That's like that would be literally the worst game to be in. Just begging for death.
You see me?
Yes.
We got you.
Oh, he's here.
You're
All right,
up
We
there,
got
buddy.
you. You're back. You're back.
Time for a new webcam. Sorry about that.
That was
Kimchi
perfect
said
timing,
Disney
though.
Dreamlight Valley. The most tragic thing I'd have to deal with is Donald's raging temper. There we go.
Oh, that's
Don't
scary.
we deal with that in real life? Oh no, wait, different thing.
I was pulled into the Tron universe. I'm back now. Okay.
There you go. All right.
Thanks for picking that up.
We've uploaded Vargas. There we go.
Thank you.
There we go.
I'm looking at that.
I almost got derezzed, so I'm good now. I'm good.
I'm looking
The
at
other
picture
characters
of
can last
Dreamlight-
29 minutes. He
Dreamlight
only
Valley.
lasted 29 seconds.
I think that would be kind of terrifying, honestly.
I was trying to think of the game that you mentioned if you were getting pulled into. I was thinking, oh Christ, what was it? Does that be any kind of game?
Yeah, any game.
video?
Yeah, any game.
Well,
Take a video game.
well, of course, Wayne will probably agree with me. I'll pull into a Star Trek game. That's what I want to be.
Oh, yes.
That's fair.
Yes.
That's fair.
Star Trek.
Oh yeah, Pokemon's actually a really good idea because you're the trainer. You don't get hit by anything. You just throw those guys out to fight. You're an animal fighter.
fight.
That's what that is. Pokemon's a really good
That's
choice,
true.
actually. You're at zero danger in that game. Perfect.
What's the character's name that has Pikachu?
Ash.
Jeff?
Ash Ketchum.
I wonder why I thought it was Jeff. I don't know.
Jeff, the Pokemon master.
Oh, Jeff the Shark.
Jeff, the land shark. There we go.
Did you guys ever play an old PlayStation game called Monster Rancher?
Oh, Monster Rancher's so sick. Oh, what a cool game. What a great concept.
It was. So the whole way it worked is you raised monsters, kind of Pokemon-esque. You took them to fight. But the neat part is that any CD, music CD, whatever you had, you would take out the game, put that in there, and it would generate a monster off of the CD. And it was always that same monster. So people made databases of thousands of CDs with what creature would do. And even some of them were special, like a unique creature, one-of-a-kind creature off of a special CD, like the Spawn movie soundtrack had an undead version of this creature. And I think the Mariah Carey Christmas album had one of the rabbit creatures with a Christmas hat on it.
Yeah, Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon had like a dark creature on. That was a really cool game, and it was interesting. It had these random monsters, and you like paid to like give them food and whatnot, and then you'd fight them in an arena. Monster Rancher was awesome, way ahead of its time.
It was. I miss it. We don't have we don't have media to generate those creatures anymore. It just kind of stinks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can't really redo the game. What do you generate it off of?
There was a similar game though, and they used barcodes. So you would scan a barcode, and it would,
barcodes or QR codes. That's the way to do it.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
That's the way to do it. Oh, that's a great idea. Because the Monster Rancher games were great. I love those. I love that game. I still have my PlayStation. I named the character it was Gideon's Ranch. That was the name of my ranch that I made. I still have the memory sticks, the memory cards from my original PlayStation, and preserved my ranch on there. So I still have all of those.
Nice.
They still live in the digital realm. Still live. If I ever want to fire them up, I can go back to Gideon's Ranch.
I remember being disappointed. I thought I was really smart. I grabbed one of those AOL internet discs, and I was like, there's got to be a really cool monster on this thing. It's going to be so cool. And it was a fucking bunny rabbit. I was
so disappointed.
There were some cool creatures. It was a good game.
Yeah, I like.
I remember Metal Gear. Metal Gear was really fun. I used to play the hell out of that.
Metal Gear Solid, yes.
Metal.
I don't live anywhere. I have to hide in lockers.
The original Metal Gear. If you have a save file from Castlevania Symphony of the Night on your memory card, Psycho Manus would say, "Oh, you're a Castlevania fan, are you?"
Really?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep. That was an interesting game.
Little Easter egg there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I loved it. Invasive.
Didn't he make you play with the second controller too at one point?
Even on old consoles, invasive data sniffing. Like, why the hell is this game paying attention to what's on my memory card? Get the hell out of there. I had Twisted Metal. I had a Sony MP3 player thing one time that I plugged in via USB to my computer, and it noticed that I had Clone CD installed on my computer, and it bricked my Sony device.
Really?
It just
And
bricked
who
it.
knew that?
Because it basically accused me of pirating, which, okay, valid.
Yeah.
But still, like,
It didn't
but
know
any
for
device I
sure.
purchase- yeah, I don't want any device I purchase to go around looking around on my PC. It's like what's, they don't use it much anymore, but what's Apple's old music software? iTunes.
I do.
iTunes is straight up installing malware on your computer. Take it from an IT guy. It's what you're doing when you're installing iTunes. Is you're installing malware because it goes through every file looking for sound files, looking for this, classifying it, and if it finds things it doesn't like, it tells you this is not legal or this is wrong. I'm like, get the fuck out of my system. What are you doing? No.
Were you on an Apple computer or a PC computer?
PC.
Okay, yeah.
You wouldn't catch me dead with that proprietary bullshit.
Amen.
I am the same page. I've always been a PC lover all my life.
Yep.
No
Yeah,
iPhone here.
I had the old app. I mean, when Apple was the stuff, when that was what the home thing was. But even once Tandy left Apple and started making his Tandy computers, I went with him to Tandy just because the proprietary nature of that stuff was killing me.
That was my first computer, a Tandy Color Computer 3.
I was gonna say,
From
Wayne,
Radio
did you get a
Shack.
chance to play that Pegasus game that I found for you?
No, I haven't yet.
Not yet.
That's
Did
the
you
one he
play a
talked
little
about.
bit?
I did play a little bit of it. It's an
It's-
interesting little game.
Yeah, they're just little flying Pegasus.
Yep, and
Yep,
it's kind of like a Mario where you got to land on top of those flying monster guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Took me a while. It took me a minute to
People
figure
and put
out,
them
but
in
it
the game.
wasn't
We know where John and Wayne will be.
Yeah.
bad. Whee!
And then the Pitfall game for the Color Computer was really cool too. It was more advanced than Atari's Pitfall.
I don't know.
I never-
They had a
played
lot.
it.
It was very similar.
I played a little bit of that Pitfall game. I got a little bit. I got a little bit into it, and I'm like, okay, there's a track that eventually you just learn as you keep playing it. I'm not going to keep playing it and learn what the track I have to go through is, but I could see at the time it being pretty revolutionary. Actually, it's pretty. It was
a lot of
pretty
fun.
detailed, for
It was
sure.
the
What
first,
about-
like, sticky finger game, really, to me. We had timing and for the jumps and things like that. It's the first one I really played that I needed to do that too.
Yeah.
You remember Pitfall 2 when it came out for Atari? 2600 probably. That was that the first that was the first game I played on Atari that actually had an ending that I played because actually because I was like the first Pitfall it was a never ending. Like I never
just
saw
kept
the
going.
ending. It kept going forever. Like you just got tired of playing it. But Pitfall 2 actually had an ending.
Yeah,
What's
Raiders
that?
of the Lost Ark was on the 2600. That's the first one that I played that had an ending.
That drove me nuts. I couldn't.
Oh, it's
I
fucking
loved
terrible.
it. It was horrible. I enjoyed ET more than that by far. So-
They're like, find the snake. There's this what you might be a crack in the screen or a hair on the screen. Oh no, it's a graphic. That's a graphic that's supposed to be the snake.
I tried so hard to play the Indiana Jones game, and it just I was so pissed off at that game. I couldn't ever figure it out. So back to ET I went.
There you go.
Favorite Atari game was Warlords. That's my favorite Atari game. You had to play it with the paddles, which you never. He's going back to the machine.
God dang it.
Oh no! You're going back! You're going back! Don't! Oh no!
What is Tron's digital, or what is Vargo's digital name?
Varg, no.
Varg, no! Varg, no.
We totally need to end tonight on that note, like him just like all of us just digitizing out.
Oh, good
That's so
stuff.
funny.
Oh,
There he is.
annoying as all get out. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I think we're pretty
Perfect.
close to the end here, anyways. So
All right.
no big deal.
Your webcam's held on long enough.
Yep.
Yeah, it's time for a new one now. I've never used it up until now, so it's been a while.
Yeah. Hey, no worries. Yeah, it's been great having you on, Scott. Anything you want to shout out? Any
fun.
projects or anything you want to shout out, or just enjoyed popping on the show? And
Yeah, I just thanks for the invite. I watch you guys every so often, and I'm very happy to be here. Get to share my little bit love of Tron, stuff like that. So
awesome.
This is a blast.
Yeah, a good time.
Yeah. It's what we do. We enjoy just getting together, talking about nerdy shit. So if you ever have hey, this would be a good nerdy thing to talk about, come join us again. It'd be great.
Definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of times you guys are on, I'm usually working. This is my day off, so I got lucky. So
nice.
Working is so overrated. No, I'm just
hey, and if anybody has any advice or anything that they'd like to hear more about, drop it in the comments. We all touch into a lot of these different properties, and I'm sure if we don't know it, we know somebody who knows it. So yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. Facts. So yeah, like I said, all of our weekly visitors, all of our regulars, shoot out some things you'd like to hear. Throw a comment once we post it up on YouTube or something, because I'd love to. I mean, I don't know enough about what the heck game was she talking? Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah.
We'll have to call a couple specialists in for that game, I think.
Yeah.
Scott, that thing's pretty sweet.
I was gonna show off some of my toys there I got.
Now, when you throw it, does it bounce back to you?
No, it breaks windows.
Oh.
But
there's an original one.
Original, yeah.
Is that just a toy, or is it like radio controlled or anything?
No, it's a toy. It makes noises when you hit it and stuff like that. And then, from Tron 2.0, this is Jet. This is Bradley's son that was in the game. Tron 2.0, yeah. But that's pretty much it. And it was about the comic book version of it's a prequel to Sega Genesis from Tron Legacy. This is like a prequel story to it.
Nice. Cool.
So anything I find Tron related, I have everything. Basically,
you must have.
This probably goes back from the early '80s. So this is like the old guy. I don't know if you can tell.
What is that? Is that like a recognizer? What is that?
No. He was one of the soldiers from the first Tron movie.
Oh, wow.
They kept saying like, "Move it on!" Like they were like
okay.
The Sentinels, I guess you would call them.
Sentinel guys.
Oh yeah.
Little
things like that I keep. Yep.
Nice, good
That's
stuff.
cool. What if we ever see any random cool Tron stuff? Remember,
send it my way. Yeah.
Go to the Vargo.
Nice. All right, guys.
Appreciate it, yeah.
This has been an awesome powwow, guys. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks for listening to us for this long. Make sure to follow, drop us a like, leave some comments. We got a tipsy elf Huango over there.
I got derezzed in the Tron universe. Sorry about that.
Yeah. We're all getting derezzed. Actually, derezzed. See you guys.
See you later.
Yeah.
Well, step aside and watch how my adoring fans flock to me.